another episode. Don't Tell My Wife podcast.
Back again.
Back again, another week.
Another
We've
guest.
got a special guest. A special guest, my bro Joey. Introduce yourself, brother.
What's going on, people?
Come on,
Thanks for having me.
Come on, man.
I feel honoured
Come
to
on,
be
man.
amongst the main men.
I'm screaming.
I've been listening to you lot for a while.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate
Come on,
it.
I'm
man.
glad to finally get a chance to be in a hot
Yeah.
seat.
Come on, man. I appreciate it, man.
You know, thank
Fine.
you guys.
Yeah. How's your week's been, though? How's it? Wait, for Junior, how's your week been?
I'm trying to think. I think it's been alright. Same as always. Work. Bro, mainly work, innit? Obviously, had to drive to Leicester for my sister-in-law's graduation. Shout out her.
How was
obviously. No, it was good still, but obviously the first major drive of a 8-week-old.
Oh, you took the baby?
Where else is it
Oh,
gonna
like,
be?
and the other grandparents or something.
No, but like, yeah.
You
So
took the baby? How
Yeah.
was he for the journey?
on the way there, he was fine. She just slept, to be honest. Like I was even thinking, okay, we're gonna stop off to try but we were running late, of course. But I'll get into that under what my wife did this week.
I can't lie.
But
Yeah, bro, do you know about that segment? In the beginning of episodes, we do what my wife did this week. What my wife did this week.
Explain it to me.
Okay, so what we do, we ask each other, what did my wife do this week?
Okay.
Could be bad, it could be good. So just a little segment
Yeah.
that we've got.
but we'll get to that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, it was nice. You know, obviously went for graduation, went to like Miller and Carr after.
That's nice.
And yeah, drove back. Obviously, bro, driving back on like the M11 and that bare traffic, bare roadworks. Then I just started crying in the back.
Right.
Had to stop at like services for like a good 40 minutes, bro. Then obviously Abs went out, changed him, brought him back, and I was feeding him. Next minute during the feed, it's just he pooed all over him, like all over his diaper, on his clothes. So I had to change him again. But then made it back. Got back at like 12ish, so it weren't bad. But first, bro, all I know is when you told me at my baby shower, being out with a kid is bare long. I realized. I realized it's still.
I'm even shocked that you guys took him on a long road trip, bro. Zeph hasn't been on like a drive longer than an hour.
No, you ain't really have to go anywhere though, innit? Graduation. At least when and even then the pictures that we took with him,
You see, innit?
yeah, but he was screaming, he was crying. So he's just gonna look at that when he's older, and I'll be like, look at the way you were screaming.
I heard
But yeah, other than that, yeah, no, week's been alright, man. Just here,
that's good.
same as always, man. What about you?
My work's been alright, man. Can't lie. I feel like I say the same thing every week, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just work and family life, like, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing mad's happened this week, so it's been alright.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, what about you?
Week's been alright. It's an interesting time. I think first time in my life I'm going to full-time entrepreneurship.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gearing up for that, putting things in place.
Risky though.
Very risky.
Yeah,
Especially at the time that you're
yeah.
You know you got to get signed
Bro,
up.
yeah.
I'm still putting together business cases
Yeah,
every day.
This one is
I
like,
know,
oh,
You can't trust me, no. Yeah.
The family balance sheet has
Bro,
to,
yeah.
Making
Has to
sense,
add up.
bro.
So just putting things in place. God has been good, opportunities opening up. One thing I told myself is that now that you're in the arena, you're opening yourself up to open doors, opportunities. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. And if we fail, God forbid,
No, God
we
forbid.
go back to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
back
we
to
die,
the-
we die.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
bro,
So,
God forbid, man. No, you'll be alright, man.
Amen, thank you.
So what is it that have you quit 9 to 5 and just?
No, so just winding down.
Okay,
The
okay.
process of winding down, so that the plan is in place. Over the next few months, I'll probably just do the whole notice thing, and then we'll see where we land.
We could touch more about that afterwards.
yeah.
Touch on
Let's get to the juicy stuff.
Nah, this is pretty great still.
What did your wife do this week? We'll start with the guests.
Yeah.
What did your wife? It could be good.
Yeah.
Because if we started off bad, with bad PR for the women.
Yeah.
So was that cool?
I
Let's
hear
focus.
you, I
So
hear
it could be good, but it could be bad.
I hear you.
What did your wife do this week?
Let me start by saying one good thing.
Yeah.
I think she's incredible.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I think she's incredible because obviously when you just have a baby, we're 6 months in now, and I realised that there's certain things I can only do because she's paying the price for it. Do you know what I'm saying? So whereby I'm going out, work, meetings, I'm trying to make things happen. I realized that, I can only do that because I have an understanding wife to a certain extent.
Yeah, true.
So shout outs to you, Mrs. Love you. You're amazing.
Of course.
And then I think that the challenging thing she did this week was...
I like the way you said
I like it too. I'll still say bad though, but I respect that.
Yeah. You got the language.
Yeah, the language. That's still something I'm still learning.
So the challenging thing this week where she kind of, in her own way, she reminded me how much I still needed to reassure her. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I was deep in that. Right, like you never really arrive in this marriage thing. Like some we're 2.5 coming up to 3 years now. In some instances, you can think, clock this thing. You know what I'm saying? I get what I'm doing, but I think we were. Long story short, there was a girl, and I complimented the girl.
Hey!
I said,
bad boy.
This is a friend of the family.
Yeah. Wait, okay.
A friend of both of us.
What means did you compliment? Like how?
No.
In
Like,
person?
Bro, I just said she was diligent.
Okay.
I just said she was diligent, innit?
Sister, what's the issue?
Exactly. But whereby, like, my missus is, obviously she's on maternity leave.
Okay.
She's at home with the baby all the time. You got to be careful with those words. Because she was like to me, when last did you call me diligent? I'm diligent as well. And I get it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I heard that.
Whereby they're going through all those changes. The baby.
100.
Identity. Do you know what I mean? You got to find yourself again. So that was a challenge for me because okay, cool. So you really got to reassure her as much as you think she knows what you mean or you think she knows what you feel about her. Yeah. I've got to continuously reassure her. So I think that was the challenge this week that I got this weekend to address.
Yeah, I heard that. Did you manage to smooth it over?
In the process.
It's not just that overnight thing. Don't kill me. Step up. What about you, bro? Anything?
You know what, bro? I feel like it's been a calm week, She did one thing that I liked this week.
Okay, go on.
She walked the house shopping.
Okay.
She didn't ask me. She just came back from shopping. I said, thank God, I got less today. So that's what I think she did this week. Bare thank you. I like that. You took a weight off my back this week.
No, that's always acts of service.
Yeah.
But for me this week, it's not even just her, but it's the Adeniran family. So her mum, her sister.
But you guys are one family.
No, of course.
It's not separated.
No, but. Have we got the same last name? What? This cat always likes to tell little things.
I'm joking. Go on.
What I've been noticing, every single life moment they've been late for. And when they say it starts from the head. When your mom is always late.
Damn.
Why would you be late?
Damn.
And then why would your sisters be late?
Damn.
Jesus, bro. How many things can I name that they've been late for? Baby shower.
Bro's going on another family,
Bro, because it starts from the top, bro. Baby showers, they was late. Registry wedding, they was late. Traditional, they was late. What else are they late for? All I'm saying, even on when we went to Leicester, we were all rushing down the road, bro, because we were all late. So, that's what they did this week, man.
I said, they did, It was meant to be one person.
Bro, because you know what? Me, I'm a very particular person. I like to be on time for things. I'm never late for things. Like,
I heard that.
And even then, I'll be early because I just don't want to be put in that situation where I'm running to go and get into the hall before. Then even now, you have a baby. So with a baby, you even got to make sure you're even earlier because even before we went in the hall, we had to go. Abs had to go and change Malachi, innit? So I was just like, bro, us being late right now, it's just jarring, innit? But
I hear that. Yeah. I feel like having a baby makes you more on time.
Yeah.
Because you have to prepare more.
And even then, you get to the door, then, or they'll sick up on themselves.
There's times where we're going out with Zeph and fam, before we've changed everything, he needs to be changed.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean. I want to be proper on time with things, innit? But when they're always late, man, Jesus. And the thing is, you know what? They're always they're late, yeah. Oh no, of course not. My brother, I've been showing grace for 8 years now. There's been great, but regardless, like, and obviously, it's always good moments, innit? Like always good things that we're celebrating. But then when you're late, you're a bit annoyed that you're late. So you're just there, and I'm just there in the car, just driving. I'm just thinking in my head, these people they're always late, etc. But regardless, I saw my little sis graduate, and obviously, thank God. And obviously, her family, I love her family to bits. Like they're already my family, but even her sister, and her other sister, like I've watched them both graduate now, but I've been in their years for 8 years. So I don't even remember what year older was in when I met her. Probably like year 9, year 10. So from seeing her from like year 9 to now graduating uni,
it's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy, especially seeing them grow up and that. And it's interesting. Yeah. Can't lie. I wonder how it's gonna be when I have a girl though. If God graces me with a girl, which I want, but because that growing up and then the boys and then stuff like that, like that man don't tell me, man. Bro, I don't know if I'm ready because that man, I think some of them man stop telling me stuff because I'm always like when they tell me something, I always get onto them like, no, this is not how it should be. This should be this. You know what I mean? The tough.
I always say to my wife, maybe you can touch on this. Yeah. I'm like, when we have a daughter and she's a teenager, you do with everything. You talk to her about that. I don't want to know. Yeah. Like, I don't want to know about boys.
I feel like it might kill me inside.
No, I don't want to know. What's your views on that? What do you think?
Bro, I'm scared, fam. my views are the same as you. Like, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was bathing my daughter. I just started praying. Like, I just started praying. I was like, any bad influences? I don't know what made me. I just started praying for her while bathing for her. Like, maybe it was a spiritual thing, but my mind just went to like all the bad things that can happen in the child of a life. You know, bad influences, smoking, drinking, promiscuity. I just started praying. I said, God, just anything that's going to turn you into that, it won't even come to you.
Amen.
So, bro, I think about it as often as you do.
I think it's the same with boys. We should have the same mindset.
No. I have the same mindset. We should have. Like, even Abby's little brother, I have the same thing about trying to get him patterned, innit? Just because I'm like, I made mistakes that I don't want you to go through. But sometimes they have to make the same mistake because they have to go through it themselves. They won't listen to you, innit?
But we can do the best we can
to of course.
Guide them to not make that mistake.
But I always want to go. But I'm still trying to get a bit more emotionally available to be better with them guys and how they're growing up and going through the same stuff. But man. Before we get into other things, just another episode. Don't Tell My Wife podcast. Like, share, comment, subscribe.
All of that, man.
All of those stuff. Polls in the Spotify comments. If there's a poll every week, we try and put a poll every week. Just be sure to engage. Like us on TikTok, because TikTok's moving mad at the moment. Bro, I don't know what's going on with the algorithm thing.
But engaging, bro.
No, I don't think it's that. I just don't think the algorithm is pushing us.
Yeah, I heard that.
But man, just when the man tries to stop you, you have to bust through the door. But another episode here with our guest Joey. So bro.
Why I wanted to get you on, like, you were one of the first, I think, in our age group that got married first, and what you said you've been married for 2-3 years
during COVID as well.
Your
story was even a bit.
Oh, you've got one of my favorite meeting your person stories, bro. So that's why I wanted to get you on. I wanted you to come and shed light on it. Sure. Let's talk, man. So bro. Before we get into this discussion, like, how did you meet your wife? How was that for you?
It was. I hope I get it right. I've been accused of not saying it right.
They're accused. They always accuse us from not saying it right. Apparently things happen differently. They're chatting nonsense, man.
Exactly. But I'll stick to all the facts that I can get that have been verified already.
Yeah.
So we met in church. It was an interesting time. So my missus is from Ireland.
Okay.
She was born in Nigeria, similar to me. Whereby I migrated to London.
She migrated. There's a lot of Nigerian Irish people.
Yeah. Have you been to Ireland?
Yeah.
What's it like out there?
It's not a slower pace. Pace.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I say people in London, like, we smell of ambition.
Yeah.
There, everyone's just content.
But we have to.
Yeah. Of course.
You have to make money, right?
Of course. This city will level you if you don't have money. So, but over there, like, it's just, people are just content. Like, you go to your job. There's no, there's no tube running for the train. You drive to work, come home. Spend time with family. Very chill.
That's life.
Very chill. Very chill. This population's only 4 million people, so again, you haven't got that hustle and bustle culture that we have in London. So back to the story. Right?
Yeah.
So we met in church, 2017. But I think the most significant part of the story was we met in like a pivotal time of our lives, right? So I got baptized in uni 2016.
Wow.
2016.
Uni.
I got baptized in second year of uni. And again, pure madness before.
You know what?
Pure madness before.
One thing we do on this project, we can never let someone flow in it.
Yeah.
When you start talking, my mind just wanders, innit? But before you continue, because I remember uni, innit?
Yeah.
I remember what uni was like.
Yeah.
I remember what the man that were up to uni.
Yeah.
Midland.
For you to like make such an important step in your walk with Christ.
Yeah.
At that time,
Yeah.
like, what was the turning point for you? What made you say, okay, this God here, like,
bro,
this is me?
Do you know what really shifted it? To be honest, I don't subscribe to the notion that you need like a mad event for you to come to Christ, right? Because I always feel like it's like people rate certain stories more than others. If you were a good guy and you found God, people don't want to hear your testimony. Everyone says, you went to prison, you stabbed someone, you converted. So I don't subscribe to the glorification of mad stories. Yeah. To me, it's all the same. But to me, I think what triggered it was, I remember it was just a mad week in uni, bro. Like, as in, we had a situation. I'll try and avoid names and stuff like that. But we had a mad situation whereby one of my brethren's people were after him. I was with him on that occasion, and people have come down from a different city in the Midlands to get him. So we were in a car.
I think I remember.
Maybe you remember.
I know.
You probably remember the story.
I know.
We were in a car. They've come down. They've got balaclavas on, knives, machetes, everything, baseball bats. So we were like, okay, cool. These they're running up on us. They're smashing the window. I thank God for the driver. He's locked the car. Brand new car, BMW. They're smashing the window. So thank God they couldn't get the car. So they're smashing like the side mirrors. They're trying to get the tires, but they couldn't get in.
And then you guys ain't trying to drive off.
We're trying, but they're smashing the car and the car's not moving and a bit of panic. And
it's panic, man.
So then we're trying to drive off now. And then we're like, okay, cool. They've done the damage. This is what they came to do, right? Damage. And then tell me why they're chasing us with their car.
Oh, boy, you really smashed that guy.
You scared us. Alpha, we get it. Yeah. You are the big boss. We get it. You are the man. Okay.
Don't kill me.
Long story short, then they start doing like Grand Theft Auto on the main road. So like they're using their car to smash into our car. For me, it's like
no drama.
Honestly, bro,
Jesus.
I grew up in Peckham, right? I grew up in South London. But that kind of thing, I always used to think that kind of thing. At least if you're chasing someone, I've never seen someone drive their car
into someone else's car.
I've never seen it, but even if you're ducking someone down. You at least follow them to the destination. You won't make a nuisance of yourself in the road.
Because that's causing attention.
Exactly. It's a madness. So we're seeing, obviously they brought a dinger. The type of car they brought. It's a car that they don't care about. So they're doing that. Thank God that we managed to get away. And then through the course of that, I think you just kind of deep your life when something like that happens. It's just like, what am I doing? How did I get here? You know them movies? I'm probably wondering how I got here.
Wait, so was you just a civilian? It was your friend in the madness, and you were just there.
I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, that's even the worst one, man.
My friend wasn't even a bad person. It was just a situation that blew up.
Of course.
Completely unnecessary. We thank God that it was blessed shortly after. But it's just something that shouldn't have happened. Do you know what I'm saying? I think I even had an exam the next day. I had to turn up to that exam. My mind was frazzled. That evening, I had to try and do as much revision as I could. And I just deeped it. Like, how did I get here? Do you get me? And then there was one of my friends at uni. He's now, shout out Wally. He's a pastor at a church called Imprint, founder of Imprint, Church of England. They're doing amazing stuff. You can see the growth in a lot of youth in their churches and beyond. So he came to me in uni, I think, about 2 days later. And he was like, Joe, you're Joey, you come into our retreat, because they had like a Christian retreat. And I was like, what's my business at a retreat? I even think there was a party that weekend. So I was like, come on. So I told him, look, I'll get back to you. And I remember like there's something I've always had all across my life, and I'll get onto it later because it's important in terms of the marriage story and everything. I always said that whatever God asked me to do, I'll never say no. So I got home, I was just like, there was just, do you know what I mean? There was just a feeling in me that, I don't know what it was. At the time I didn't know what it was, but again, now that I know better, it was probably the Holy Spirit or certain consciousness that was just telling me, look, God is asking you to do this thing for a reason. Eventually, I agreed to go. He was like to me, yeah, I've paid your fee. I think it was like £100.
Wow.
He said, oh, I've paid for you. And when he told me that, I was like, I can't not go. Do you know what I mean? Cool. So I went, and instantly, as soon as I got there, I think there was loads of young people worshiping and doing their thing. And instantly, I was touched in a way that I've never been touched before. So touched in such a way that I think people were getting baptized the next day. But the people that were getting baptized, they'd been like preparing, so they knew they'd been doing the course. So for me, I think I went to whoever the rep was, and I was like, I have to get baptized tomorrow. Add me to the list. Add me to the list. Again, based off that event and a few things, right? Done it.
Oh, they let you do it? That's nice.
Yeah, they let me.
But how can you really say no?
You can't.
Exactly.
You can't really say no. You can't say
you will not baptize you. So done it, and that was the beginning of it. Obviously, during uni it was a bit rocky, so I had like a few months, 4 or 5 months, so I was probably the best Christian ever.
Yeah, oh no, of course.
It always happens.
That always happens. The fire.
Went down. I didn't have the right systems or structure in place to sustain that fire.
Why do you think that happens to Christians though? Why do you think we go through that stage of like on fire and then we just
lukewarm?
And just why do you think that happens?
I think, like I said, it's systems. It's systems that God is also a God of order. Do you know what I'm saying? In the sense of like you can have that fire that stimulates you, but if everything around you is still reflecting of your old life, you're deceiving yourself if you say you want to have a change. So in terms of the activities,
I feel like someone just punched me.
I heard that.
But I heard it though.
So that was me. So it became one big roller coaster after that, and then it was only until after uni. So I think after graduation, I've seen it as a fresh start. Seen it as a proper fresh start. I was like, okay, cool. You've had that 3-year bubble, and somehow you just landed back in your mum's house. On that single bed. I grew up in a council estate as well. So I landed back in the council estate on the single bed, sharing a room with my little brother. Thank God for my family. I love them to bits. And I was like, okay, cool. So this is the real you, not everything that happened at you. Not the lifestyle you're living, not the fun. This is the real you. So it kind of it set off like a butterfly effect of looking for a church of my own. I was like, okay, let me find somewhere that grounds me. And that was that.
What church did you stumble into?
So I went to House of Praise, Camberwell church. I got married. Shout out to House of Praise. Amazing church.
Okay.
Let's go back to
because we go for time.
No.
But so you met your missus in church. So how did that happen?
Luckily I think the story is literally the next part of the story. Okay, cool. So she'd come over from Ireland. She's got her own story, really incredible story. She wasn't even supposed to be here. I think they denied her work visa. She's a nurse, so she works in a private hospital. They denied her visa, and then lo and behold, I think she was praying about it, and they let her in. So we were both at a point where, for me, it was like you've just finished uni, you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. She just moved to a whole new country, and London is a leveler. You know what I'm saying? London it will humble anyone, right? Especially if you don't know anyone.
Especially if you're someone from Ireland.
Exactly.
It's so different.
Totally different. Different structures, different everything. So our paths have just converged. So we've met each other in church. And she's very like, I don't know if you know the Irish, they're very expressive, very outgoing, very warm, lovely people. For me, it was like, in that church, I said, look, is me and God in this church. As in, if any girl talks to me in church, I will elbow you.
I'm not here for this.
I've lived that life.
Yeah.
I saw where it got me. If any spirit of whatever wants to distract me in this church, so for me, I'd literally go church. I'll sit in the back, in the corner. So we've got 2 tiers. We've got the bottom tier where it gets full, and the top tier. The back of the top tier. Me, I'm praying. I'm crying. I'm doing whatever I need to do, trying to get that intimacy with God. And for some reason, she was just like a great friend. Like it was so weird. Like she was just so warm, so cheerful. Even when like I'd be a bit standoffish, she was just a warm person. Like so, eventually we became friends. Obviously, we had that common ground. She's very Nigerian. You know, we speak Yoruba, we banter, and we're both like getting to know God as well, like growing in our faith.
When you lot were going through that early stage, did you ever have it in your mind like
not at all, bro?
Oh, so
not at all. Like I didn't even it's like because of the season I was in, I completely shot myself off to the possibility of even dating anyone. Yeah, as in mentally, I just said no, and plus, like you know how most guys are, like it's like, you know, I'm not gonna date, I'm not gonna marry until I'm like 30 anyway, until I've got M's in my bank account. That was a mentality. Until I'm a millionaire, I'm not getting married. So, and then church girl on top of that, I said no, I'm not sinning. I'm not leading anybody astray. Do you get what I mean? So all of those factors just meant that for me it was so pure, so pure. You know.
So when you got to the point when you was like, okay, I could, or I'm starting to feel something. Like what was that like? What was the journey like when you were like, you know what, like, I want to marry this girl? Like, when did you make that decision?
You know, I think that there was a lot of, I went through, obviously everyone has different kind of points of confirmation. I'm sure you both have different stories. I think for me I had like a series of confirmations. So it wasn't just one, there was just continuous confirmations. But the one there's 2 that stick out. There was, it's funny. I think we were in church for a midweek service. And then I was praying. I don't know, something in me just praying for my life, you know, general prayers over your life, your future, And then I think I opened my eyes. She was on the big screen. I remember
hearing this. You're speaking God.
I was like, oh, okay.
Wow, yeah.
For me, okay, maybe coincidence. Maybe it would have been coincidence. Maybe another guy's had the same thing. It might not be me. And then there was one time, so we prayed together. You know, at that time we used to pray together over the phone. So we were praying over the phone, and then I heard a very audible voice. Again, it wasn't a strong voice. It was just like, I guess it was me being still and allowing God to kind of have a conversation with me. And what I heard was, this could be your wife, Joey. Not like in a question form, but more in like, I think you might have found the one. And she was praying, like she was lost. I was just listening to her. Do you know what I mean? She was already deep in prayer. She was in the spirit at that point. And I was like, okay, cool. So I sat on it. I didn't say nothing to her. I sat on it.
Were you guys like boyfriend and girlfriend at that time, or were you like into like the seeing stage?
Bro, it was blurry. I'm not gonna lie. It was very blurry on our side. So it was like we were like best friends, and we didn't define anything.
Do you think it's like that when it's like a church thing?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's hard to make it like, this is you're my girl kind of thing?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to take it a bit slower, so you don't really.
Exactly.
I hear that.
Exactly. So because again, there's whether you're in the church context anyway, and I'm not expecting anyone to be perfect, but in the church context, whether you're girlfriend and boyfriend or you're just best friends, kind of the same thing.
The same thing.
Because people start associating you.
God doesn't see boyfriend and girlfriend.
Exactly.
What's that to God? Like?
Exactly. So people start associating you with brother, so and so, sister, so and so. Do you get what I mean? Let's just say that if I started like talking to another girl in church for longer than maybe 30 minutes, people would have started side-eyeing me. That was that kind of thing. Nothing official, nothing serious.
But it's like
people kind of knew us. Like, you know, we were just always together, bantering, joking, praying, whatever it was. So it was that kind of thing. Yeah, very blurred line.
It's a nice story, man. So when you decided to make her your wife, like what was that transition in your mind like? And did you seek counsel from anyone, or did you make that decision by yourself? Like, hey, this is my wife. I'm gonna propose.
I think there's something I always say. I say to people, this conversation comes up a lot. I say, like, God doesn't hate you. So there is an element of decision making when it comes to finding your wife. Because I get this question a lot. People always like, how do you know which is the right one? How do you know it's the right? And I always say something along the lines of, you don't find a perfect marriage. You build it.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as finding a perfect, and that also means that you don't find a perfect woman. You can find the most perfect woman in your life or in the world, and marry her, and you still have issues.
Yeah.
Because there's an operative work that needs to be done in real time for you to have a good marriage. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have one good person, two good person, good marriage. No. In real time, you both have to be showing up, being kind, sacrificing, all of that stuff. So I guess in that process, it was a combination of God giving me permission and insight, saying, "Oh, this is a great woman, and you can potentially build something special with her." And then it was also a process of, there was certain things she did that I enjoyed. Do you know what I'm saying? So, at the time, some of the businesses that we're doing, she used to always pray for me. So many things that, I think at that time, I didn't have much money as well. That post-uni time, you're grinding, you're hustling. I didn't have much. So she, there was certain things. She was just like a real friend, a real rock. So for me, the spiritual side was hugely important, but that was in combination with some of the more human things that she did that I really enjoyed. Right? We'd pray together, we'd fast together. I remember I had some business in Ghana, and I don't think I've ever told this story, but I think I was struggling to pay for the flight tickets. It was a big deal that we're going to do out there, and she put her lubes on Depop. Yeah, she put her lubes on Depop. She was like, "Look, if you need
back then as well, when lubes are
made, it was the in thing." And she didn't even tell me till after, so she didn't even want the glory for it.
Yeah,
she got what I'm saying. She didn't tell me till like way after that time. But I look back and I'm like, wow, like some of the human things you were doing for me in that season. Like, you were a great friend, a great woman. So irrespective of the spiritual confirmation, which is obviously important, I really enjoyed having her around me. So for me, the combination of both helped me with my decision.
Yeah,
that's a sick story.
No,
imagine women of today, isn't it?
Never. So how did you obviously you said it's very blurred lines, but obviously then it gets to the point where it's blatantly obvious that you guys are
absolutely
going forward, right? So how is it that like you proposed?
Cool, good question. I'll start by saying, I was very, looking back, I was a bit young.
Oh, you were young,
bro.
How old are you?
I was 23 when I proposed.
Oh, damn, that is 24. I thought I was too different. I thought I was 25.
Nah, I was 20. No, 26.
Okay. Wait, how old am I now that I'm married? 26? No, I might have been 24 actually.
Okay.
No, don't worry. We're in the same boat. Don't worry.
You guys are.
It's my brother now. We're in the same situation.
I was 26.
You get it.
But yeah, you were young, bro.
Yeah, I was young. I was young.
Very 23. Jesus.
I learned over time that just because you're saved doesn't mean you're fully sanctified. As in, you're not fully perfect. You're still flawed. So I remember, like, again, it's interesting you asked me about the engagement. Because at the time, for me, it was just like a little bit childish, if I'd say, in the sense of like, for me, again, growing up from South London, I didn't like the hype. I didn't understand certain things. Like, I found a good woman. Let's just do it. Just no biggie. Let's just. I didn't really want. I know people were doing like pre-wedding photo shoots and all of that stuff. And to be fair, if I did it today, I'd probably do it. And I think my missus expects us to reload some of that stuff.
Well, you could do anniversary pictures or something.
Bar renewals, etc. So babe is coming, don't worry. So at the time, I didn't really make much of a big deal about certain things. again, because of, I think it's childish mindset. 23 years old, you're like, I'm doing something that again no one around me has done,
bro.
Bro.
So mentally, it's like I'm dealing with all the emotions that come with, you know, I wouldn't call it hesitation, but all the emotions that come with, okay, am I doing the right thing? I know God has said this, but we all know that even when God has told you to do something, sometimes you'll be like, okay, God, is this the right thing? God, is this the right thing? God, is this the right thing? So I'm headed. So for me, it was just more like dealing with all my fears and anxieties and getting it done. Like, okay, let's just do it. Than really enjoying some of those processes.
Did you have any conversations with her before you made that decision? Like, did you know where her mind was at?
Yeah. Okay. She. I think she was ready. Okay. My missus, she's a church girl.
She's
a serious one. Military.
I heard that. Like, that's good, man. Bro, that's good.
So we were ready. We discussed it. We knew what we wanted. We knew that. Again, body not be firewood. So even in terms of you know, you can't really stay there for
cat. Before you mess up,
it can crash. It can crash anytime. So for us, we're like, you know, again, we know exactly what we want. We know what the situation is. Let's do it. So we don't crash. So yeah, she was on the same page.
That's good.
And to answer your question, sorry, I didn't. We engaged in a restaurant. Okay. So it was a restaurant, family there, friends, family. We had like a photographer. It was nice.
You can't say it's chat, bro. That's
calm, bro. It was nice. It was nice.
Know, obviously, some people doing that more extravagant.
But every year I see.
You see some of the.
I feel like that's where the generation and society is right now. Everyone wants to be better
than the other, bro. You see people flying out the best, flying out Nelson.
It's at the beach, so they say we're mad.
Bro, I'm thinking, if this how much the proposal is, how much now we're doing? But it's nice. If you're flying out vendors to come and do pre-shoot,
bro. If you could do it, then
100. It's a big thing.
But the reason I said my own, because I know that I didn't fully express myself as much as I could have, again, because of maybe that childish mentality that, okay, all my boys are single, all my boys are living life, I'm doing something that, you know, no one around me has really
gone against the grain.
Yeah, exactly. So there was that resistance mentally to do it, and, you know, we did it. Thank God, you know, I grew up.
And wait, you got married in lockdown,
In lockdown.
Yeah, during lockdown.
How was that? Like marriage, then boom, lockdown.
Yeah, was it during after?
It was after. Kind of like Teniola around that time.
I think so. Similar times. I think maybe a few weeks.
Yeah, apart. I think it's a few weeks apart still.
What was that like being married in lockdown?
Yeah, it was.
No, but wait, just before, because before you got obviously lockdown, then you got married randomly because of like you said something. It was something about the timing. Where they just called you randomly to say, okay, there's a time here, right? So how did that happen?
What happened?
Yeah, so it's an interesting story. So we'd planned like a, let's say, 40 grand wedding.
Yeah.
And thank God that it didn't happen.
Thank God. They got me, man. They got me, man.
I'll be ducking it down, man.
Jesus,
I'll be ducking and diving,
bro. We planned something elaborate. Not elaborate. I think it was okay, but anything you do, even if you're doing small, it still runs up.
It still runs up.
You know, these vendors, they know how to get you,
bro. That ain't gonna be started,
bro. So we're planning like Greece for the destination. Okay, typical kind of scheduling, right? Greece for the destination, and then have like a trad in the UK.
Big trad or
decent size. I think my wife was running. She was taking ownership of that. I don't even remember where it was.
She was
just speaking to the vendors. For me, we're just when it's the money.
How much is it?
I'll see pictures. Okay, this is nice enough. Let's.
Do you like this one? Even we was doing looking at like vendors and like decorations. Bro, she was just showing me. I was like.
I just said whatever you want, bro.
Whatever.
Even to this day, she'll be like, "Oh, this is the vendor we're gonna use." I was like, "Oh, sorry, I don't even know. This is the place we're gonna use." I was like, "Oh, okay, so." So we planned like a your standard wedding, and then that got shut down. So we planned for April 2021.
Okay.
Again, to give us time to kind of get the finances in order, get everything in order, get the planning, and then. We saw lockdown as like, okay, we're gonna get this thing done, and then, a few of the elders in church, they kept saying like, "Fam, what are you waiting for? Like, get it over and done. Do your thing." we saw a few people that got married as well during lockdown. They don't have two heads. They're doing their thing. It's happening. And then again, that was that point about again crashing. Nobody be fire. So we got to that point where like, and that we'd already bought a house before. Before the wedding, innit? So I was living there. She was living in the other place. So she had her place. I had the house that we bought. So I was living there alone. So again, during lockdown, I think her where she was living, the housemate was at high risk, and she's a nurse. So it meant that there was a little bit of tension. So it meant that she had to kind of stay at mine for a little bit of time. So we were just like, nah, this is this is. Sometimes I would like go to my parents and leave her in the house, or I think her workplace, they're quite well to do in a private hospital. So they got her like hotels and stuff as well. So
man, you're a better man than me.
Bro, you're a better man than me. Yeah, I'll be sleeping the same bed. No cap.
We were fighting for our lives.
Oh, 100.
And I'm happy that you guys stuck with it.
I'm even happy as well, man.
We're fighting for our lives. And then we're just like, look, two things. Lockdown is an opportunity to save some money. My missus, as much as she's a woman, if I sit her down and put together a good enough proposal, she'll hear me out.
It's a business case.
If I put together the business case, she'll hear me out. Like so, I put together the business case. She wasn't really happy. I'll be honest.
Every woman wants her day.
She wants her day. Eventually, we became aligned on it. So we'd planned something else. So we'd planned for like a very small, intimate, but very rich wedding in the sense of like really nice decor. A nice sort of
I think I know what you're trying to talk about.
Like a white, like white floors, white drapes, like almost like a black tie soiree, champagne dresses for the women. Really nice luxury wedding. So we put everything in place. I mean, there's a couple hotel that we had. I even forgot the name of the hotel, but Central London Hotel. We had the Rolls Royces. We had like Coyote, the videographer. He was online. We had the group chat set up. Nelson obviously set up all the vendors. So we were like, okay, cool. If we're not gonna do a big wedding when we were supposed to, we'll do something really nice that we can look back on. That we'll get really good content, really rich content out of. So we planned that. Imagine what we'd planned was, this is in November now. Right, so what we planned was due to be November 7th. And the week before, so imagine everything's in place now, we're good to go. People have already got their invites. And the week before, Boris Johnson's put us in lockdown again. So
that 4 weeks.
At that time, we were in like partial lockdown. So I think you could get married with, like,
you could do weddings,
60 people, do you know what I'm saying? So you could get away with a reception. And then for some reason, like I was plugged onto the news that day. For some reason, he's put us into full lockdown. This was like the final lockdown of 2020. I think it went over and crossed into the New Year as well. And Christmas Day, there was no New Year's Eve crossover service. Remember that Christmas, there was no crossover service. Everything was online. So it was literally like about 2-3 months of that. So it was just before that. So our wedding was supposed to be the next week. The week before, he's announced full lockdown. So I'm literally sat with my missus, we're planning last minute stuff, and we just start laughing. We literally just start laughing. We're like, so what are we gonna do? Luckily, again, thankfully for our church, we went church the next day. This was a Saturday, so we went church the next day. The church said they'll marry us, even though it was full lockdown, so it was completely. Again, I don't even know if I should say this, but completely not allowed on paper. But they said, look, just come show up at the church, we'll marry you and you can move on. Because I think even my ring, I'd got our rings engraved with a date. So again, we'd already planned, I think, so the date is on our ring, the inside of both of our rings, right? So I'm like, we have to get married on this day. Because you can't it messes up the ring, innit? So, cool. Church said they'll marry us. Literally we spent
Did you have guests there as well?
We had about 30 people, but so it was very small. Again, some people couldn't come anymore. Some people are still beefing us to this day.
Hold that, man. Hold that, man.
We had a lockdown.
Hold that, man. Bro,
that's tough. It was, and that's when you realize that people don't really even care about you.
They don't. They care about the
I'm
event.
I'm dealing with my missus. She's like, I went from having my dream wedding to having a makeshift wedding now to a lockdown wedding. Do you know what I mean? So emotionally, she's going through the motions, and I'm trying to reassure her.
Yeah.
I'm trying to comfort her, make sure the situation is as nice as possible. And then again, because of that lockdown, our court wedding got cancelled as well.
Yeah.
So our court wedding was supposed to be the 6th of November, and then the kind of white wedding / reception on the 7th of November. Again, the week before they cancelled everything, so we completely lost hope. Church said they'll marry us on the Saturday still, again, with the rings, thank God. So we said, okay, cool, we've got our outfits, we've got our clothes, we just show up in church with, immediate family. We'll do our blessings, and we'll call it a day, and we know that we're married. We've saved money, we've done everything, amazing. And then luckily, I think the Wednesday before that Saturday, the council, the court wedding destination, they've called us. They'll be like, look, there's a cancellation. They said there's a cancellation that if you can come here for 3 p.m. This is like
today.
Yeah, on the same day.
I remember reading
on the
that,
same day. This was literally, she's called. The ladies called us. She'll be like, look, there's a cancellation. You'll be the last wedding of the year.
Oh wow!
The last one. So this is in November. And there's a lockdown announced. So the whole thing. There's no appointments, no nothing. So I'm like, I call my missus. I'm like, babe, what are you saying? Like, can you make it happen? And she's like, okay, cool. She's okay. Luckily she got her hair done. She's done everything. She's running around, so made it happen. I think her dress had some alterations. Her brethren had to go and get her dress, get some stuff done to her dress, deliver it. So bro, helter skelter. And then luckily, her mum, again, because of Saturday, the church said they'll still marry us on Saturday. Her mum landed in the UK that morning.
Oh, that's nice.
So lucky, again, I wouldn't have wanted us to kind of do that without her mum being there. I've called my mum, like, Mum, can you come to at this time? Her mum's there. We literally just picked her up from the airport. It's like 9:30 in the morning. We're like, okay, 3 p.m. we're going to do this thing. So we all go, amazing. We do what we need to do. Saturday comes, we do what we need to do. I even think there was no hotels ready. So in our house, it wasn't really our first flat. It wasn't really somewhere she wants. We had content ready. At least get pictures and stuff of you getting ready. Getting ready, the makeup, all of that stuff. So I think I called one of my brothers. He's well to do, right? Very well connected in London. He managed to get us hotel rooms. So there was no hotel rooms available anywhere because of the lockdown. And you can still pattern something.
I mean, I patterned a few stuff.
Yeah, we tried, but it's like, I think the only things that were available, like Premier Inns and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, not the fancy.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on.
Exactly. Got us like a couple rooms, Stratford Hotel. The Stratford Hotel, nice hotel.
That was nice though.
Yeah, nice. So got us a couple rooms there. I think because he's got an apartment there. Okay. I think if you've got an apartment, you have obviously a direct line to get hotel rooms.
To get more connected.
Bro, we got Nelson to do some pictures in the morning, got some videography. So we did that the morning. Imagine, maddest thing is we had a Rolls Royce because we've already paid for it. Remember, we were planning this separate thing. Paid for the Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce came. The guy came with a ribbon during lockdown.
So it was bait.
And and weddings are categorically not allowed. But it wasn't even like partial lockdown. There was no weddings. No weddings from point blank. And then we've driven past a police car, police bus, not even a car. We've got a ribbon. And me and my missus like, look at that police car. And we're there shaking. We're like, oh my God, we're going to get pulled over. Yeah. Luckily, nothing happened, but I was just like...
Because that could have ended up.
Bro, imagine getting bagged on your wedding day. Bro. But yeah, they went well, did the church blessings. We had a little flower wall for pictures. Nothing crazy. Then we went to our auntie's house and ate jollof rice.
It's a nice story though.
But you said it's some money though.
Yeah, it's no, you know what though? You know what? Because when I saw your pictures come out, I was like, this nigga's suit is cold. And I was like, I want a suit like that. So what I did, I screenshotted. Obviously, I cropped your head out, and I was like, let me try and find out where the suit's from because I wanted to get a suit like that. And then obviously, I went to what's it, Caribou, innit?
Kabiru,
said,
yeah.
Or is it Kabiru? That's what he said. Bro, I went to, and I was like, okay, let me make an inquiry and see how much the suit is cost. When I saw the price, you know, I exited. I said, you know what, bro? I'm out. I can
thank you. Okay.
Let me just go somewhere else. But like, bro, like, trust me, like, I was like, no, this suit, and I was like, you looked really good on your wedding day. So I was like, this suit looks crisp. But yeah, now we kind of know why, because obviously you couldn't have the big wedding. That's why the finer details you had to have, which makes sense. But me that was doing all this planning, I had to make sure my suit was, you know.
Exactly. It was like a trade-off. So it's like, you know, she had the exact dress she wanted. Yeah. You know, she had painted by Esther. Shout out Esther. Wow. Yeah. My G. You know, celebrity makeup. Yeah. She had exactly what she wanted. So in the little things that we could control, we tried to make it, you know, as pleasant as possible, because there was so much that was just. I think at that time, me and my mate just kept telling each other like, it just feels like this thing's been handed to us. The government is telling us what to do. The church is telling us. Everyone's just telling us what to do. We're like, okay, fine. You're one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a beautiful story.
You've been married, what, 2 to 3 years now? So how was that first year of marriage? Especially being young as well. So young, you're not really you don't really have that much knowledge in the marriage thing. I'm sure you probably, you didn't have much experience. I'm sure you probably like read a few things just to prepare yourself mentally. But what was that like, being married young for your first year? What challenges did you face? Challenges.
It was cool. I think it was cool. First year of marriage was cool. I think, you know, our challenges were more around, which is what I guess today's topic is around, like, you know, praying together, system, structure, who's cleaning what, you know, who's doing what in the house, you know, kind of division of tasks. And just kind of getting to know each other, because I think we realized that we're, you know, like every marriage, you realize that you've come from 2 completely separate places. So the way you deal with things is completely different. You know what I'm saying? But marriage makes you realize that as much as you think you're very similar with someone, you're very different.
Yeah.
It's so weird how it works.
Different backgrounds, everything.
Bro, me and my missus, you know, before we got married, I was like, yeah, man, we're literally the same person. Yeah. After we got married, I'm like, fam, you're so different.
Yeah.
You're not even like me. Bro,
that's that realization.
Bro, it's like, it hits you. I was like, how did I think you're so the same?
Bro, I think there was even one time like I was just in the kitchen afterwards. I think we had like a back and forth about something here. I was just in the kitchen and I must have looked at her and I was like, she might have tricked me. I can't lie, bro. Nah, man. It's interesting.
So I think there was a lot of adjusting to, you know, like everyone, like adjusting to who each other is, you know, getting used to it, being accepting. Being accepting. I think that's something that, you know, you got to really be accepting. Unconditional love is how people term it. You know, because everyone has a vision of like, you know, how I want you to be, and vice versa. I'm sure she had, you know, what are your expectations of me? And I think I'd say the first 2 years was like a process of like really coming to a place where you cannot impose your expectations on someone. You have to accept yourself. Obviously, you know, wish growth for them and love, but you really have to love them irrespective of whether they're what you want them to be. Do you get what I mean? So
I get you. And you've got a daughter as well, an amazing little girl. So what was that like? Like when you were told, babe, I'm pregnant, or like how was it? What was that like for you?
We found that in Madrid.
Oh wow!
I was in Madrid for a work trip. And she just tagged along like she does.
I find that's nice though.
Tagged along. Yeah, when you're married, it's like,
bro, let's go. Man.
For me, I was like, man, this is a holiday. Yeah, might as well turn it into a holiday with your missus. At least in her head, it's like, I took her on holiday. Yeah. In my head, like, the company paid for like 80% of this. So for me,
money saving taxes.
So it's like, for me, they paid for the room, they paid for my flight, they paid for my food. It's like, all we have to worry about is your flight. So we went. So I think we'd been trying for not long at all. We've been trying for like a month. So we've been trying for one cycle. one cycle. So first cycle, it didn't happen. And my missus, you know, women, like she's like, oh my god, she's panicking. I'm like, babe, you've tried once. As in, like, even if you have sex 1 million times in a month, it's one cycle. I think the window when the egg is whatever, it's literally only one cycle. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that you've had sex 1 million times and failed. It means it's just one cycle that maybe hasn't quite aligned. And then the second month, this is in June, the second cycle. She's taking pregnancy tests. She's feeling some changes. So she's doing. So I think the day before I went to Madrid, because I went before her. The day before I went, she was like, "Babe, I think I've got a test that's positive. I think I've got a test that's positive." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'm like, amazing. Amazing.
You want to actually see that?
Like, let's do this thing." So we're like, "Okay, cool. This is nice. Good news. I'm excited. I'm going home from work. I'm skipping. I'm enjoying." I'm so happy. I'm gassed. Yeah. And then I fly out the next morning. And then she comes to meet me in Madrid. And then she buys the test in Spain. So you can't get it wrong in two countries. She buys the test, and then I think the Spanish word for pregnant is embarazada.
What's an embarazada?
So I think the morning before I went to work one day, she's come into the bathroom and said embarazada.
That's a good one. I like that, man. So,
we're just gassed.
You must be jumping.
That's great. We went to dinner that night. I think we were with another friend of ours. My work colleague, who also brought his missus. And I think, we're ordering steak. She's like, nah, I don't want steak because you can't eat like red meat. You know what I mean? So she's there acting like a pregnant woman, like.
She's in her bag already.
Like 2 hours in.
But bro, it's your first day out here.
Act like you've been there before.
Hey, don't kill me.
So it was nice, man. It was again, it was a good feeling because I've got brethren that have children as well. But I felt like in that moment, I had nothing to worry about. So I'm saying I wasn't worried financially. We were already married, so it wasn't like I had any family issues or politics. So we were in a good place, so it allowed me to. I enjoyed the moment. I definitely enjoyed the moment.
How long was you married for before?
Ooh, I think it was. So we got pregnant 2021. No, 2022. I think it was 18 months.
18 months.
18 months. Yeah. So even before we got married, my mum always said, when you gonna have babies? I said, at least give me 18 months. That was the time. It wasn't my plan or by design, but it ended up like exactly 18 months. So we got married end of 2020. We got pregnant mid 2022. So it was exactly like a year and a half basically.
No, that's great, man. That's nice.
You guys must have enjoyed that pregnancy period then. So those 9 months getting ready, I'm sure it must have been an enjoyable experience.
It was nice. It was nice. It was it's all new.
Yeah.
It's all new. We're doing what we can. Towards the end of the pregnancy, I don't know if you know, but my baby came slightly early. Not too mad, like a few weeks early. But my missus had slight complications, so it got a little bit stressful around towards the end of the pregnancy. But thank God everything was perfect. So we were in the hospital for like a week, 2 weeks. She was in the hospital for a week. She had something called preeclampsia.
I feel like I've heard that before.
It's quite common. It's quite common. It's like when your blood pressure goes high. Basically, the mother's body is struggling to deal with the placenta of the baby. So it's like there's like a conflict. So she gets high blood pressure, but they don't feel anything. That's the scary part of it because your blood pressure's high, but you don't feel it. It's like the doctor's telling you your blood pressure's high, but you're like normal. So if you don't quickly get on top of it or notice it, your blood pressure can shoot up. And there could be something, God forbid. So we had that. Luckily, we got ahead of it. Doctors advised us. They brought the baby out, whatever, and it was all good. But most of the pregnancy was enjoyable. Actually.
What was that first period of like holding your baby? Like, what was that feeling like?
It was nice.
Did you cry?
It was nice.
You did cry. I should a little tear, man.
That's because I should a little tear, man.
I've said this in the previous point. Like my experience was a bit traumatic.
Okay.
So just bare overwhelmed, bare emotions. Like my son was here, it could have gone left, like bare emotions. So a couple. What about you? Did you cry?
Yeah, no, I cried like I had like a tear or two, but that was because I was just seeing the amount of pain she's in. But then when I saw him come out, and I was I had a couple of tears in it.
I heard that. Yeah. But now you're a family man now.
Wait. We'll go for like just the first year of being a father. Or was that what you can ask?
Couple months, bro. 6 months.
Oh, was that? Oh yeah. I'm sorry. No, it's mad because I'm so used to always saying the first
year. Again, we'll ask him again.
Yeah.
No, why I wanted to bring you on, you're a family man, you're a Christian man as well, and it's a conversation that I've been wanting to have with a Christian father and a husband, because I've been kind of struggling with this in my life. I don't know about you, but I've been struggling.
Don't expose me.
How, before we get into it, like, how do you guys work together, being Christian, married, and a family? Like, what does that look like for you? Like, how are you?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question. And I think the first thing is to say is that it never looks the same for everyone. Do you know what I mean? It never looks the same for everyone. Again, we want to be a house of prayer. We want to be a Christian home. So there's a little bit of pressure, right, to do certain things. Pray, read your Bible, do Bible study. But we all know it doesn't always work like that. Do you know what I'm saying? We can only try our best. So I think for us, we've had an interesting journey with that. If I rewind slightly to when it was just us two.
Yeah.
So I remember like when we first got married, we'd pray every night. But again, you're going in with like, okay, I'm the head of the home, the spiritual head of the home, kind of vibe. And I remember one time I realized that, why am I the only one praying? My missus is a prayer warrior, so sometimes it'd be like, we're praying, so I'm praying, and she's like saying amen. That kind of structure. And then we had to change up because I was like, fam, like, yeah, babe, you pray, like, the Bible says I'm the spiritual head, but
I don't have to pray every minute.
You're amazing at praying. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was more me. Maybe I kind of expected to. Maybe I took that. I tried to take the lead a little bit too much. Like, we're praying. Do you know what I mean?
And I thought you said, I think that's an important bit as well, that you have to realise your wife's strengths as well. So sometimes with men, it's not everything that we carry.
Exactly.
Because even in day-to-day stuff, like I think I've said before, like my wife's better with finances, she's better with budgeting. And when we got married, I'm the man, so I think everything I have to do everything. But I'm like, she's good at this. Like she teaches finance at school and stuff. So it's like this is you kind of thing. So I let her just take the lead in it. It's like recognising your wife's strength. So that's an important point.
No, absolutely. So I think even when it was just us two, we kind of got a system where we pray together. We always pray together. So there's never a time where one person's prayer. So we pray in agreement. We always pray in agreement. So we both bring prayer points together. There's general ones, and obviously there's stuff that I want to pray about and pray together. There's stuff that she wants to pray about, and then we always pray together. And we found that works for us. Obviously, people have different stuff, and then we tried to do a weekly Bible study, like just
once a week.
Once a week Bible study. Obviously, during the weeks we'll have like some ad hoc devotions and that kind of stuff, but specific set time is like once a week. That okay, cool. Friday evening we're sitting down. We're gonna dive deep. There's no distractions and no nothing. Other times that maybe we wake up in the morning, we'll read a verse and we do stuff like that. Because we try to do the everyday thing and
don't work.
Sometimes it's like the scheduling and whatnot. So we had to condense it. Like, cool. If we don't put that pressure on ourselves, let's have one day specifically, because it's easier. We can get that right. Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of having this weight or this burden on us. And obviously, we're always praying, we're always in agreement, like we're always on the phone. So we're literally always aligned spiritually. But we said, okay, cool, let's have that set time to do it. And then fast forward to obviously now with the baby here, it's pretty much the same thing.
Hasn't changed.
Pretty much the same thing in a sense of like, but I guess the first like 3-4 months of having a baby. That's chaotic, bro. Like there's no order in your household.
There's
like,
no order.
You're sleeping and waking up whenever the baby lets you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's literally no order. Like there's times where the baby's awake in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. We're praying then. You know what I'm saying? So there's no scheduling. There's no nothing. But now that baby's getting a little bit older, she's we understand her schedules a lot more. So she goes to bed at like 9:30 now. So once Mrs. puts her to bed, we have a lot of time, which is such a blessing, bro. After the last 5 months, finally,
to have your time, like,
at least like 2 hours together, bro. Like in the evenings, I've never even. I can shed a tear, man.
That's it though, because that's important. When your daughter was born, and you had that period where it was just helter skelter, there's no schedule, you're not really spending time with your wife. Did that affect you guys' relationship in any way? And how did you deal with that? Because I feel like with me, and I'm not sure, I don't know if you've experienced it. Like me and my missus barely spent time together. Like it was literally because she'll go to bed with him, then I would take over later than that. So we never really got time to spend together. So how did you cope with that?
How did we cope? I think for us, there was just a lot of communication. So again, by that I mean sexually. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm allowed to.
No, Flo. This is marriage, man.
Your talk, bro.
This is marriage.
So for me, it was I know some people like my missus. She didn't. Our baby was quite small, so she didn't tear.
Yeah,
okay. She didn't tear at all.
Oh, so you didn't have to wait.
Yeah, so I didn't have to wait. Which I thank God for. You know what I mean? So we were obviously the time I did wait was a little bit. It was like, let me not even say it.
Don't say
when they say Joey is being evil to his wife. There's pressure in that. But yeah, we're back online. And I thank my missus because she was like really intentional. So, the times where like we had, grandma, the baby's grandma around, so grandma was watching the baby. We just spend time just to do what we can. Exactly. We quickly go upstairs and do what we need to do.
That's good.
A couple of dates, so leave the. I mean, when the baby's that young, you can actually leave that because they don't know who's around, right? That was our experience anyway. So yeah, we went on a few dates when grandma was around. So that was good. So when our parents were around, it's good. We spent good time.
That's good.
When our parents left, or when they were coming a bit less, I don't think we've been on that many dates. It's been bad, but we haven't been on that many dates.
There's no time.
There's no time. Everywhere we go, we take the baby. But it's fine. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the way we are, like I don't. To me, that's still a date. Do you know what I'm saying? You go out, me. Baby will sleep. You know what I'm saying? We're there, we'll talk here. We take the baby to the restaurant. We've been on holiday with the baby. The baby went on holiday.
You've been on? Oh wow, you've been on holiday
to Greece. I thought I went to Greece.
Don't let my wife hear this, bro.
That was like barely 5 months.
Wow.
We went on holiday together.
What was that like, taking the baby?
It was cool, man. It's probably best age.
Yeah.
Because when the baby's like between 1 and 2. That's when they're moving by themselves. That's when they're throwing tantrums. Do you get what I mean? So
take yourself on the
that's
plane.
on the plane, bro.
Myth.
So that's, I think for us, it's like we deep that this is the best age because you put them down, they sleep, or they stay where you put them.
Yeah.
So we had a great time. Honestly, we had a great time. Went to breakfast. Wasn't an issue at all. Put the baby down. We chill. Do you know what I'm saying? Chill in the evening. We're even going on holiday. Very soon as well. Baby's a little bit older, a bit more alert now, so I'm a bit scared.
At least she will stay where you put her.
Yeah.
Wait. Did you take your buggy?
Yeah. So we had we bought something called a baby Zen yo-yo. So it literally collapses, fits in the cabin.
Sorry, my phone's even. Let me get.
Bro, it's amazing investment, bro. Like it's so easy to use. You clip it, it unfolds by itself, so it gets big by itself. It's like a spring. And then you flick it. When you flick it and you fold it, it collapses all the way. Like it won't be bigger than this. So you can easily put it in the plane cabin. You can put it. It's got a strap, so you can even put it on your shoulder. So honestly, best. We even rented ours.
Oh wow!
So we rented out. So we've got a Duna, which is like
the
car seat thing.
So
Yeah.
we love that again.
Mm-hmm.
Simple parenting. We're soft life people.
Yeah.
So we like to find the easy way of doing things.
Yeah.
We're on holiday, so we're like, okay, cool. We won't use it in London, but you can rent one for like £20 for the week. So we rented it for the week for a holiday, and she picked it up, used it, had a great time, delivered. So there's businesses,
So
that
makes sense.
She doesn't actually need it. So when she does need it, but the good thing for us is we've already used it, so we know how good it is. Mm-hmm. So when it's time to invest in it, we know that we don't even have to think twice. So, yeah, it was cool.
And I wanted to ask you as well, like, when you said you guys pray together, you have your prayer points, you come together in agreement. Mm-hmm. When I was finding Christ on my own, I had my own relationship with God. Yeah, it was just me and God. And then when I met my wife, we prayed together and stuff, but it was quite surface. It wasn't like deep stuff. And I think even now, I struggle with that intimacy and that transparency with involving someone else into that relationship with God. And we pray, we read the Bible and stuff, but it's not as consistent, it's not as regular as I would like it to be. And I feel like that's because I never really got to involve someone else. So how transparent are you? What advice would you have for me to be transparent? Because there's just some things that I'm dealing with, I'm struggling with in my mind that I want to speak to God about, but I don't know if I want to bring it out for us to both. Yeah. I don't know if that I'm making sense.
I hear you.
Yeah. So how do you, like, what advice can you give me for that?
Bro, it's tough because I'd probably say I'm quite similar to you. In a sense of, like, I feel like there's deeper I can go. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, every man has his secret place. But then on the other hand, sometimes I always think that, you know, as a man, head of the home, quote unquote, there's some things that is for your secret place. Do you know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you know is it's between you and God, right? You don't even want to burden your missus. Like, there's certain things that you know, me and God. And on the other hand, I know that there's so much power. It says, you know, where two or more are gathered, there He will be. And other scriptures, can two walk together unless they're agreed? And the final one I'll lean on is, you know, one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. I experienced that recently. I think there was something I was dealing with, an issue. Honestly, the moment I told my wife, Baba, that issue stopped. Wow. The moment I told my wife, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a supernatural thing, but something that I've never told her. The moment I told her that issue, it's like everything was solved. So now I'm like, maybe we're even doing ourselves a disservice by not showing that intimacy. And it's a trust thing, right? You know, where we're mandem, where we come from. Sometimes it's hard to, like, really open yourself all the way, even though you're married. You clearly love this person enough to marry them. Yeah. But you might not be as open.
I don't know why.
There's still something that I guess maybe it's you know, I did, you know, I kind of had to have a moment of self-reflection and self-awareness with this as well. You know, is it that I'm still scared of being vulnerable? Do you get what I'm saying? I'm the oldest of all my siblings. I've always had to be the strong one, the leader, the one that has no problems. And I had to caution myself, and I'm still cautioning myself. Like, look, this, you know, marriage is sweet when you're completely vulnerable. Like, babe, I'm dealing with this. Or, you know, when you're completely honest with each other. Do you know what I'm saying? Babe, you can do better at this, or I can do better at this. And I realized that, you know, we're missing the trick a little bit by not tapping into this gift that marriage gives us. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, this, you know, marriage is a gift in the sense of where two have become one. And unless you really kind of get together and you kind of operate as one, you're shortchanging yourself on all the blessings that come with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because scripturally, two have become one, right? So the moment you still kind of maintain that level of individualism, which I guess in some aspects are inconsequential. That's fine. Do you know what I'm saying? If you want your own car, if you want to have your own stuff, that's all good. But from that real intimacy aspect, you know, whereby it's feelings and vulnerable, like, babe, this happened. Or, you know, I remember the first time I told my babe, I'm a bit uncomfortable about this, or I feel anxious. I've never, do you know what I'm saying? I had to find the right words. I didn't even know how to describe the feeling. Like, babe, I feel a bit, before it would be like, yeah, man, it's fine. Okay, cool. I'm okay. I'm fine.
That's me, bro.
Yeah, I'm fine. But then I had to learn to find the right words. And again, words are important, right? I'm really big on it. So, babe, I feel a bit anxious about this, you know. Can you pray about it with me? Or, sometimes not even a prayer. If I'm not even a prayer, I just tell her. And sometimes me even telling her, I feel free. Do you get what I'm saying? I feel free. So I guess for me, that's dealing with the same thing that you've just said. That's how I've been kind of dealing with it, and how I intend to continue dealing with it, in the sense of me not being vulnerable with my wife is me missing a trick on some of the blessings that marriage has to offer a man.
Yeah, I agree, man. I hear that, man. Because when me and my wife got married, we pray and stuff, but I haven't gone like
deeper level.
But I'm working on it, man. And that also stems onto my next question for both of you guys, like the challenges that we face as young men, being the spiritual leader of our home as well, because we are the men of our homes, etc. But being a spiritual leader of our home, the pastor of our household, I think that's a mad that's mad, bro. Like it's pressure, because my wife was even getting on to me the other day, and she was like, babe, like I feel like you're not doing as much as you should be in that aspect. And I was like, damn. And I was asking myself, like, why haven't I? Like, am I avoiding it? Do I not want that load on my back? Like, because at the end of the day, it's like, bro, anything your wife is going through, you should be praying. Anything you need to be praying for your children. So I was like, this pressure of being a spiritual head of my home is mad. I think it's mad. Like, 100%. How do you guys deal with that? Like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that?
You know what? I think probably even better for you to go, so you can bring it together. Because I think one of the reasons why I've been so silent at this part, hands up, I'm slacking in it. Like, I'll be honest in it. I don't feel like, spiritually, I don't feel like I'm nowhere where I used to be. And I feel like, because I can't lie, I feel like since getting baptized, I forgot when we got baptized, was it 2019?
2019,
something like that. I had that bits of when I was on fire, and then when we used to do Bible study, I had that bits of when I was like proper reading my Bible, and then ever since then, and I think that stopped after lockdown to us, I feel like I've just slacked. And I feel like but I think maybe because of church breaking down and I had nowhere else to go, I wasn't going to church, I wasn't doing that. Obviously, it's been okay since we started going to our church now, but I still feel like I still haven't gone back to being on fire. And if I'm being 100% honest, I just feel like, I won't say God forbid, but say rapture comes now, I'm probably getting spat out, if I'm being 100% honest. And obviously, I know that that's the situation I'm in now, but I don't know why honestly, I don't know why I'm not feeling the urge to make a change, and I don't know why. It's very weird. And like, even when Ken's talking about, being head of the home, I'm head of the home, and I understand that. But I feel like spiritually, as I said, I'm nowhere where I should be. Finances, all of that, I can do all of that, because that's just not real life, but it's just what I can see in front of me. But spiritually, I just don't. I'm just blank, and honestly, I don't know why. I do pray. Sometimes, sometimes if I can, I'm on the way to work, I'll pray, or like even like bathing Malachi, I'll pray over him and everything like that. But I feel like and I feel like I've slacked, and I feel like that's where I'm probably really, really doing a really, really, really bad disservice to Abs, because I haven't taken on that role properly. And I feel like since that time when I was at York, we were all here. And we hadn't been going to church for a while. And Nurse was like, I feel like the head of the home if you're the head of the home, you should be leading your wife to go to church. And I was like, eesh, like that really triggered me, innit? And obviously that's why we started coming to church the next week. So I was like, okay, no, maybe I have to step up. But honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a vulnerable moment. But I feel like I am really slacking still, and I do have to like push myself up, but. I'm just in that limbo moment, and I don't know why, and I don't know how to get out of it, if you know what I mean.
Do you have any advice?
No, first thing I say is thank you, bro. I think a lot of people aren't honest. And you've pretty much won most of the battle by being able to be honest. And you're not the only one.
Not
by no stretch of the imagination. I think the first thing I'll say is, and again, this is based on what the Holy Spirit ministered to me on a different issue. Just give yourself some grace. Do you get what I mean? Like, you know, sometimes when we have a period whereby, again, we're not as good a Christian as we should be, or, you know, we're struggling to find our way back to it. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just first start by understanding the grace that God has given you. You know what I'm saying? Because the enemy can deceive you, like, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And a lot of us, especially young men, we put this pressure on ourselves that, you know, you have to be doing this. But in doing that, you are essentially stating that you're doing it in your own strength. If you see your failure as your own fault, it means that you also see your success as your own glory. And I think that's probably the first step. It's that, again, thank you for being vulnerable. It's that kind of vulnerability that sometimes I'm like, God, I can't do this. Like, God, I don't know what to do. Do you know what I'm saying? I pray that prayer all the time. And it's, again, there's that level of intimacy of God. God, they're asking me to be the head of the home. God, they're asking me to provide. They're asking me to be a father, raise a good child. Yeah. But most of my prayers these days, right, I tell you not, is just, God, help me. Do you get what I'm saying? That's how I start most of my prayers, bro. Like, God, help me. Because, again, it is a big responsibility. And the culture that we come from, they know how to make everything life or death. You know what I'm saying? The culture that we come, everything is life or death. The spirituality is by fire, by force, and that's fine. There's a place for that. But I think the first thing you do is just give yourself grace. Like, you know, again, speaking to myself, giving myself grace. Like, okay, whatever I have done or I haven't done, it's fine. You know, I know what I intend to do. I know where I want to be. I know what I desire. And it's just giving yourself grace and building up very slowly, very slowly. You know, it's that thought that I'm the head of the home. So, you know, I'm going to wake my wife up at 5 a.m. on Monday, and every day we're going to pray at 5 a.m. Sometimes it doesn't look like that, bro. Like, it's like, if you're going gym, are you going to, like, go straight to the 120 bench press when you haven't been in so long? You're not going to go. You cut it down to what you can do. You cut it down to, you know, okay, cool, this is where I'm going to start. You know, and it doesn't make you any less of a Christian. Because it says in Ephesians, it's by grace, not by works. Do you know what I'm saying? Of course, there has to be a desire, there has to be a passion for Christ. But you literally, like, the simplest prayer we can pray is, God, help me. God, you know, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but God, help me. Do you know what I'm saying? I pray that prayer every day because, you know, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and he was just like, he's well to do. He's a celebrity in Nigeria. And we're talking about just the mercy of God. You know, we're talking about, like, you know, all the rich people that he knows and and he's like, Joey, you know, I've spoken to so many people and so many people that seem to be doing well. They can give you all the advice in the world, but ultimately it's God's mercy. And I think when you understand that, even if you bring it down to your own world, your own micro level, like, everything that we're able to do is simply God's mercy, right? It's, you know, God, show me how to do this. God, you know, please teach me. Because even like you said, like, sometimes you get to a place where there's no even desire. But that means you're basing that desire off yourself. You're saying, oh, you know, I'm going to give myself the desire. But, you know, that's even a prayer point in itself. God, give me the desire. I don't have the desire. Like, it's just that kind of honesty where, God, I don't have the desire right now. God, I don't exactly know what to do. God, I may not even have the discipline or consistency right now. However, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to do what I can. You know, whatever it is that I can do. Small, even if it starts off once a week, it's twice a week, 3 times a week. Do you get what I'm saying? And then you're like, Holy Spirit, take over. Because I feel like some of the times or the instances where we fall short is because we're literally trying to carry everything. And the Bible says, cast your burdens onto him. Just like, we're trying to be the perfect man. We're trying to be the perfect husband, the perfect leader.
But I feel like that's what the women kind of put on us, though. I feel like they want us to be that perfect man for them.
I think there's obviously an expectation, which unfortunately we came as men. We get all the benefits of men. Do you know what I'm saying? We get all the benefits of being men. So naturally, they're going to have certain expectations, whether it's right or wrong, between them and God. Do you know what I mean? And we all have amazing wives, so they're going to be understanding regardless, right? I'm very sure. But I think we do have an expectation to take our place, right? But however way we get there is between us and God. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be perfect immediately. Do you know what I'm saying? It's better to be working towards something than to be doing nothing. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's better to get to a place where, okay, we're gonna take baby steps. We have a vision. We have a united vision, baby. we're gonna do this. You know, I'm gonna do my part. If you see me slacking, help me. Sometimes I tell my missus that as well. You know, help me. My missus will help me as well. Help me. You help me. Do you know what I'm saying? If there's something I've told you I want to do, because then you have two. It's like having a boy and you go gym together. Yeah. The day that you say you don't want to go gym. Yeah. Bro, why are you slacking? I'm vice versa. Pick you up, man. Exactly. Which is again the power of two that we're talking about, right? It's this head of the home. But you also have to remember your wife is your helpmate. Yeah. So you are one person and she's your helpmate. So again, there has to be this unity between the two, because if you're saying that you want to lead the home all by yourself, like it's a very lonely task and it's a burdensome task, and you get bored and you get stressed out and frustrated. The moment you involve your wife, like, babe, this is the vision. I think that's the true job of a leader. You set the vision. Some of the tasks, it's like, even if you're a CEO of a business, you don't do every task. Do you know what I'm saying? So even when it comes to spiritual perspectives, like, babe, this is the vision. This is what we'd like to do. Do you agree with the vision? Do you know what I'm saying? Are you happy with this? Again, you know, we live in 2023, so you have to be suggestive. You can't just tell your missus stuff. Not dictatorship. Exactly. Yeah. It's not a dictatorship. So, babe, I suggest, or would you like us to do this? Or what do you think, babe? The moment you get that buy-in to the vision, then you're both on the same page. And it's like, you don't want to look bad to your missus. Do you get what I'm saying? So I guess, again, that was a long way of saying that give yourself grace, start from where you can, and team up with your missus.
Yeah. And I think that's probably one of my problems in terms of what, you know, when Kev was talking about being vulnerable. And I think it's just the thing where, because of the way I was brought up, and obviously I was the firstborn, so everything of my mum and dad I kept it from my brother to protect him, if you know what I mean. 100%. So I feel like even now, if I'm going through something, I'll keep it to myself and deal with it myself, so I don't stress out abs in it. And I think that's one of the ways I go wrong. And obviously it's about learning how to be more vulnerable, open and honest, of course. And yeah, I guess it just takes time. And I feel like I will get to that point. Amen. You will definitely. But obviously, here's me thinking that it's got to be, I've just got to come out and say whatever. But from what you're saying, I understand that it can be from little by little by little, but small progress is better than no progress, right? So yeah, no, I hear that still, but yeah, hopefully, God willing,
you will, bro. But also for the men out there that hasn't really involved God in the sense of their marriage and stuff, like, what would you say the benefits are of bringing God into your home and leading your family in the ways of God? What are the benefits that you've seen in your family?
Benefits of leading in a godly way. I think maybe I'm very Christian when I say this. I think fundamentally, marriage is a Christian institution.
I agree.
You know, I think all the components of marriage. Marriage is like they say it's like a vehicle to becoming your best self, your most glorious self, right? Because, you know, all three of us know the level of sacrifice, the level of kindness, the level of love, the level of selflessness you have to display when you get married. But if you don't, you end up fighting from morning to night. You can literally end up fighting from morning to night.
Facts.
So I think fundamentally, if you look at that, you know, even if you look at it practically, it's everything that a husband or wife is required to do is quite reminiscent of what Jesus tells us to do anyway. You know, I have a saying, I say, like, I've studied a few different schools of thought, and if you look at Christianity just as a subject or school of thought, like socialism, capitalism, whatever, it is probably the best school of thought to follow that yields the best results, right? The Bible says that the blessing of the Lord cometh without any sorrow. So even if you follow Christianity as a school of thought, it gets you to a place where you genuinely have a beautiful marriage, you genuinely have a beautiful life, because you're not doing anyone dirty. You're being selfless, you're being kind, you're taught to be resilient, you're taught to navigate situations with skill, with grace. You're taught to put people above yourself as well. So you can't end up in a bad situation from there. You know, if you try to do it the other way, it'll be very hard for you to strip yourself of the natural pride, ego, anger that we have as men. A lot of men have pride, ego, anger, and many other things, frustration. If you have no anchor, or you have no, you know, kind of rule book that you're following, it'll be a bit difficult to maintain a peaceful home. Do you get what I'm saying? Which is why, again, divorce rates are high. It's, I think I was reading the other day that the reason why divorce rates are high because people are only out for themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? The moment you frustrate someone in marriage, it's like, that's it, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
But in our faith, putting Jesus at the center of yourself, at the center of your marriage, is literally about, putting the other person first. Do you get what I mean? So I think those are practical benefits, and it's even better when you're both following the same rule book. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it'll be a bit frustrating if I'm trying to be like Jesus and my missus isn't, right? Yeah. But when you're both like that, it's like, you're almost like you're competing to see who can give each other a better life, right? Who can be more selfless, who can be more kind. Of course, as a man, you take the lead, and sometimes you're going to have to take some hits and some blows, right? That comes with being the man, do you know what I'm saying? But if you lead your home right, if your woman isn't a wicked woman, she'll follow you. Yeah. That's it. And even to the previous point about like leading the home spiritually, I think, I think about this quite a lot, and I had to tell myself that even when there's challenges, because naturally there's always challenges, right? When something doesn't go my way, or I feel like maybe my missus didn't listen to me, I always have to tell myself, look, you're the head of the home, but the head of the leader is the first servant. So you're the first servant. So if you want a godly home, you have to lead by example, right? And I'll close by saying this, like, in the sense of, I'm still a lot of men, they have some challenges in their home, and maybe the missus isn't listening, the missus isn't doing this or doing that. And one thing I always say is, we live in we live in 2023, right? 2023 is, the women in 2023 are different from the women in 1973. Like,
I would have rather them remember.
Bro,
chill, man.
my grandfather's generation is totally different, good or bad, right? I remember my grandma, like, as in, bro, she was just happy to be there. My granddad would say anything, and my grandma would listen. She was a lovely woman, amazing woman. But now, if you're a man, a husband in 2023, it's a slightly different dynamic where, your missus is earning good money. They see what's happening out there. They're very, aware of what's going on. And so we've got different things to deal with, right? The way what I tell myself is, look, if you want respect, you have to earn it. You have to, you earn it, bro. Like, you have to earn it. That's just, obviously, there's a natural respect she'll give me because she's a Christian. But realistically, that only, lasts you for so long. You know what I'm saying? You earn it. If you want her to respect you, then perform. Do the things you're supposed to do. Buy her nice gifts. Do housework. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say,
this work is tough,
bro. It's tough. You have to earn it, man. Yeah. You have to earn. You earn the right to. A lot of people talk about submission. I don't know if
you've touched on it. Yeah. What's your take on it?
Literally, what I'm saying now, and it's just in the sense of like, I get submission to an extent, but like I said, you earn that respect. Yeah. If you're a man and you're handling your business, as in your missus is hearing you praying, casting out demons in the middle of the night, you're going to work, you're delivering, as a man should, right? It'll be a very wicked woman that won't respect you or submit to you at that point. Do you get what I'm saying? It'll be a very, very wicked woman, and even then, you just show her grace and more patient. Eventually, she'll come around. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think I've ever seen someone that handles business that hasn't earned the respect of the women in their life.
I agree.
You kind of said the same thing.
Yeah, I did say the same thing. But before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you, like, because it's something that I'm struggling. Transparency. This is quite a transparent episode.
No, it is still. I can't lie. I'm a bit triggered still.
That I'm struggling with. Yeah, like, obviously got baptized in 2019, etc. I've been a Christian, but like we said earlier, the dips. Yeah. How do you set yourself apart from the world? Like, how do you keep on this side of things? Like, how do you not get drawn in? Because with me, some things are driving me. Some things are driving. Like, I'm trying.
That was even going to be my question. That's even my next question.
Like, bro, and I think me and my missus, I love my missus because she holds me accountable. Like, she doesn't let my standards drop. So she was just like, Ken, like, I'm just noticing, like, you haven't really been doing what you're meant to be doing what you used to be doing. I think, like you said, summertime, like, I just want to go outside or, have a drink, you get me? And Bro,
That is important. Man.
Bro, it is. But I feel like with me, I'm either 100 or I'm not. So if I'm doing that, every day, you get me? Every weekend up, you get me? And that's like drawing me away. Yeah. So how do you maintain that relationship with God? Like, how do you not let the world draw you in?
Bro, systems. Systems. I think number one, intimacy with God. Like I said, sometimes we put the burden of being a good Christian on our shoulders when we should be going to God and asking Him to take it for us and lead us and guide us. Mm-hmm. So one, intimacy with God. And number two, more importantly, from a practical sense, you've got to put the right systems in place. So I don't go parties. A lot of people say, just because you're married doesn't mean you shouldn't go parties. But I don't deceive myself that I'm stronger than I am. If I put myself in certain situations or contexts, it can be a disaster. It can be a mess. Do you know what I'm saying? You see me?
Well, I'm fighting for my life.
That's why I'm going, man. Thank you.
You are probably stronger than me, bro. Seriously, I don't deceive myself that I'm stronger than I am. For me, it's system. So, again, parties that I know that is going to be a bit... Do you get what I'm saying?
Because that's even the part of temptation.
Yeah, exactly. We're all decent looking guys. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? You're doing well, you drive, things are happening in your life. So, for me, is complete system. So, I know that certain places I just don't go. Category, you can't motivate me to go. You can't inspire me.
I hate you. I'm the same.
I can't get you to come any day parties with me.
Dead.
But it'll be tough. Maybe if me and the missus had a disagreement.
Don't kill me. Ken says Joe's coming. Thank you, Santa. I said no.
If you say it's your birthday, as in. That's what we're gonna. I can go to the chairman and say, look, it's Ken's birthday. It's not that I want to party. It's just Ken's birthday. Exactly. Maybe I'll name drop a couple of my other Christians. This guy's good. Okay. If he's going, then there's no danger. You don't know what's I know how to frame it. But yeah, bro, it's just systems, man. It's systems that again, your Christian walk has to have systems. Otherwise, you're just the people that you're talking to every day. And I'm not saying cut off people, but I'm saying be intentional about being with the right people. Like even myself in this season, of entrepreneurship, I'm making sure that I'm around entrepreneurs. Every day I'm meeting a new entrepreneur. I think today I met a guy. He's got a couple of businesses doing extremely well. We're talking numbers. He's quite popular. I'll tell you off cam. Really good guy. We chopped it up. Gave me his number. Literally, I just walked into a store. I didn't even know he owned it. And then I was telling them about a new business that we're launching, his partner. And she went to the back, called him, we were talking. But I was very intentional about extracting value from that conversation. So we do it in business. We do it at work. Even in in our faith journey, it's literally about kind of putting in the right systems. We make sure we try and go to church. Try and serve in church. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the Bible says that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So in the sense of if I have things to do, if I know I have to be in church every day at this time, and because the church is relying on me on something, there's no way I won't be there. There's no way my mind won't be there. Get to the midweek Bible studies, the friends that you're around. Make sure it's edifying. Of course, there's a portion of your life where you have your natural friends, and that's fine. But make sure you're around people that are challenging you. Make sure you're around people that are. Bible says iron sharpens iron. If you're not around iron, you're just going to become blunt. There's no two ways about it. As in, it's not even your own fault. Do you get what I'm saying? There's systems in place. If the moment you're not around the kind of people that are going to make you sharp or perform in the way you want to perform, you cannot expect yourself to perform that way. It's bordering on delusion. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not around anyone that is doing something and you expect to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I guess for me, speaking to myself, is ensuring that there's systems in place, ensuring that we're passionate about church as a family, even when we don't want to go, even when we've had a mad night on Saturday night with the baby. The baby is moving mad on Sunday morning. We'll fight it, even if we're 1 hour late. They will forgive us because we have a newborn. We get there 5 minutes left. At least we went. Do you know what I'm saying? So making sure we're in church, making sure we're doing the right things. For me personally, is not going to places that would be tempting. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, it's, again, I know what life was like in uni.
Yeah.
I know the situations I've been with.
Even now, get to what's up.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Get to what's up.
Do you get what I mean? So, again, just making sure that I'm in the right places, not deluding myself, fleeing.
Yeah.
But I flee. I flee. You don't know. I run. I remember someone asked me, like, "Oh, Joe, how do you do it? You're married. How do you do it? How do you try to stay loyal? How do you fight temptation?" Yeah. I'm like, fam, there's no magic bullet. There's no bro. I say at the altar they didn't chop your penis up.
No,
they didn't if they did, maybe it'll be easier. they didn't chop it off. So every day you're showing up ready to battle. As in, today I'm fighting. Do you get what I mean? Every day you're showing up. It gets easier with time, and you can help yourself by not putting yourself in like situations that will be compromising. Do you get me?
And I think also what you said about like you just don't go to these places. I believe in like certain seeds, small seeds, because if you're going to these places, you're seeing things, you're seeing certain things that in your mind it just keeps until one day it mess up.
So what I was gonna say basically, I feel like we already have these kind of systems in place, and I feel like it's just about cementing ourselves in those systems now. Because when you say about iron sharpens iron, like when look at our friendship group, Ken, and who we've got around us. That's a very strong group of strong men that are trying to all go in the same way, right? And I feel like now we have these kind of things and these kind of people around us, it's just the thing where we've got to make sure now that we decide to take this road and make sure we stay on the road. And I feel like once we do make that decision, there's like people like AK around us that are just gonna punch us into place if we, you know what I mean? Like it's like even then we're going Mexico next year, right? You're with, but most of the man in relationships, and even then, you can't go and mess up or do something or go, you know what I mean? Because man will hold you and be like, bro, like, you know what I mean, innit? So I feel like we have these things in place, but it's just about being more intentional with making sure we're actually using those systems, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Amazing.
I agree. But we don't want to keep you too long. I know you've got precious family to go back to.
No, he's gonna stay for a bit after because.
No, but before
I did for you, man.
Before
I've got sign off for the whole night. I know how certain I get sign off. I get sign off for this is my motive today.
Hey, don't kill me. But but thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate everything, bro. But we've got some quick fire questions for you.
But one of them's not quick fire though. One of them it's still quick fire questions, but this is one that I feel like we should ask every guest.
Okay, ask the one.
Yeah. Alright, cool. So, what's your favorite memory of your partner?
Favorite memory of my partner. So, you know what? Early on in our relationship, we used to she would make the best F4 on time.
It's so funny. Everybody has that meal.
I'm saying it bad, man. It was just a very soft time in life. We sit on the floor, watch a movie, and we eat it. It's so good. So of course, we've been through the wars. I remember when we bought our first house. We had to raise some money, pull some money in. That was amazing. Good victory, and you know what I'm saying, but. That F4 pounded,
I hear you.
I hear that. Bro, it's so funny. Everybody has that bill that their wife has put. But pick a number from 1 to 38.
27.
27. I think I already know your answer, but it's a night out or a night in. Let's say with your wife. Would you prefer a night in with your wife or a night out with your wife?
A night out with my wife.
Oh, is it? I hear that. What do you guys tend to do? Like restaurants or?
Yeah, we love restaurants. We love restaurants and holidays. She loves holidays more than me. Yeah. Because I don't play with hotels. Yeah. So if the hotel's not nice,
I hear you, man.
I hear that. That's like me.
So I'd rather not go there.
Yeah.
That's like me. I hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, restaurants and holidays.
What is what's been your favorite restaurant that you've been to together?
Oh, do you know? Does it have to be in the UK?
No.
There's a restaurant in Greece that we went to, Thalassa. It's literally overlooking the sea, like unrestricted views of the sea. I'll show you pictures after. So like you're sat down, it's most beautiful, like aesthetic, interior design, fresh lobster. Like, oh, bro, just amazing. You're like you're facing the mountains and the sea.
Yeah.
The food is amazing. The vibe is amazing. The customer service is amazing. Honestly, top notch.
What about you? What's your favorite?
Oh, I can't lie. What's my favorite restaurant? What's my favorite restaurant? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite restaurant
that you've been to together though.
With me and
yeah, that you guys have experienced together.
I think I don't know. I don't think I have one,
No, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I have one.
I feel like you might have been to a couple.
We've ate at couples,
yeah,
but
maybe there's not like one standout.
There's not like a standout.
That's why I couldn't think of one in London.
Yeah.
There's not really.
Yeah. There's not a standout.
First,
Do you have one?
I feel like Hacker pre-COVID. I think I forgot how many years we were celebrating Share, maybe 4 or 5 or something like that. But I feel like that was like when you're doing 9 to 5, like not uni P's, it's better P in it. So we were there. I was just like, I want this. And like when the video, you can see bare different plates and that. Yeah, man. That was a good one.
Arrived.
Yeah, man, that was a good one, man. And yeah.
Yeah, another number.
19.
Okay.
We've got an interesting story about Hacker actually. There was one time when we got the meal for free.
Oh, was it?
So we were there, and then I think that there was a leak in the roof, and just literally water was just dripping into our food. And then they moved us around, got us new food and everything. And then the couple at the end of the meal, at the end of the night, they finished now, and I think the guy's taking them the bill, and it's 2 guys in it. Obviously, I think they're the other side, and they're like, "No, I'm not gonna pay this. No, how dare you ask me to pay? It wasn't even the leak didn't even go into their food. It came into our food. Like, no, look at this. I'm gonna have to take this to the dry cleaners. Are you gonna pay for my bill? No, and they just walked out.
And they allowed them.
Didn't do anything.
What can you do?
Did you try and do?
Bro, and then obviously the leak actually went into our food.
Yeah.
And then the guy comes and he brings the bill. And then I think he's trying to expect us to pay the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guy, are you sure that you want to do this? Because these guys just literally walked out and you let them. And then he's like, we can do 50%. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable paying anything because you've clearly allowed them to walk out without paying a bill. And he was like, okay, fine. And he stormed off. He was like,
I'm like, okay.
Let's not waste any more time.
You've never seen Taste in Hindsight where the meal tasted so good even after. Because when I found out it was free, I was like, that beef was, oh my god,
succulent.
I said that beef.
I don't know what part of the car.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me. No, that's funny. Wait, what did you say? 19. Okay. Would you rather be the breadwinner or the homemaker? And why?
The breadwinner.
Why?
Even though there's a part of me that doesn't mind stay-at-home husband, I think it'll be quite soft.
No, very soft.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind. Mommy, I tell my missus, go and close some deals. Breadwinner because you can do nice stuff for your missus, innit? I'm a Nigerian man.
I don't think it's in us, man.
I
don't think it's in us to do the whole making thing.
I'm trying to unlearn some of the toxic traits, but
do you think it's toxic though? Because it's tradition, innit? I feel like some tradition is bad, some tradition is good.
I get you.
I feel like with the Nigerian man, like we want to provide, we want to spoil our wives. So I don't think that's bad.
Do you know, one thing I always say is I think Jesus, the faith culture takes every good part of tradition and leaves the bad part. So, again, I was born in Nigeria. A very Nigerian home. But I find that a lot of the men in my family like prideful. egotistical. Do you get what I'm saying? Just certain things certain qualities that, are not necessarily conducive to creating the kind of home I want to create. So obviously there's amazing parts of our tradition and culture which, I subscribe to. And then the parts that, I need to work on, I make sure I work on it. But as I say, if you're a Christian, as a Christian man, you should want to provide. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we've been talking about. All this head of the home is not just in prayer, it's also in deliver, buy your wife some stuff, do you know what I'm saying? Take care of her, etc. So I think breadwinner for that element.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can't take insult. I don't know how to,
bro.
I'm not good at it.
Bro, I hear you.
Bro, that's why I'm sorry, innit? Listeners, women are out there. Sorry.
Something will come out. It's like people always ask that question, like, if like, let's say your missus has a house and you get married, would you move into a house?
Hell no.
Sometimes.
So if I didn't wash the plate, she's like, dead. Because women, they know how to.
Bro, she can be the nicest lady in the world. There'll be one day that she'll say one thing and you just want to jump off a bridge.
Yeah. I hear you.
Because even with my wife, obviously, I'm sorry, listeners. But there's things that she says, and she may not even be meaning it. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's just a tone. I can't take it. I need to work on it.
I'm working on it.
I need to work on it.
Bro, be humble, please.
Bro, so bro, my wife making more money than me and me being the homemaker. I don't know if it could work for me.
Interesting, though.
I don't know if it could work.
Seriously, I don't even know how it would even be for me as well, to be honest.
But one last question before we wrap up. Cool. Me gone number.
Between 1 and 38.
Yeah.
Let's go for number 2.
Favorite TV show or movie?
Movie would probably be Gladiator by Russell Crowe. I love that film.
That's the oldest one, isn't it?
Yeah, the oldest one. Roman Times. Or American Gangster. I like that one.
That one's mad long though.
American Gangster?
Yeah.
I like it. It's my type of movie.
Long, fam.
I've
tried, but I can never get into it. I get bored after the first hour, bro.
I'm a big fan.
So, alright, I might try it.
And in TV show, there's a few on the list. I like Succession. I watched Succession, Ozarks. I don't know.
Ozarks. Ozarks good. I haven't watched Succession yet. It's on my list at some point.
Succession, Billions as well. Billions.
The black one. Billions. Oh no, maybe I got something different. What's Billions about?
It's like it's a billionaire, and it's just like he's just navigating. So basically, there's a billionaire and there's like a big time politician, like the attorney, the district attorney, the United States attorney, and they, the wife of the attorney works for the billionaire, and he loves her.
I'm screaming.
And obviously, they're two like really powerful men, and they're just always clashing about the woman, innit? She's refusing to leave the work because she's like, she found her purpose. She helped him build a company. So the attorney's got to deal with his wife working for a billionaire that loves her, and he's got to deal with the fact that she's his wife at the end of the day. Do you know what I'm saying? So
imagine a billionaire loving your wife. Jeez,
billionaire, just two powerful men just going
clashing
head to toe. So sometimes they're working together. Yeah. Sometimes they're mad situations, but I think it's more like you're getting immersed in the world of a wealthy person. He's got the cars, the jets. Send 25 million here, so it's nice to immerse yourself in that.
Okay. No,
one last question. One last question. Number.
38.
Ooh, this is a nice one. Actually. Describe your partner in 3 words.
Ooh,
make sure you say diligent.
Prayerful. Extremely prayerful. She's prayerful. She's very courageous. She's very tough. Like honestly, that's one of my favorite parts about her. She's incredibly wise. So like I've seen her navigate situations with so much wisdom, like even beyond what I would do. Do you know what I mean? So I think prayerful, courageous, and wise is what I'd call Bola.
No, that's nice.
And I mean that as well. Like, not even just she's everything.
Wow. That's nice.
Nice, man.
Nice episode,
honestly,
man.
Bro, thank you very much, man, for coming on, man.
We could talk about so much, but
Exactly.
But maybe you can come back soon, man. We can have another one.
Always available for you.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I learned a lot as well, bro.
Yeah,
some stuff away.
There's definitely more to talk about after. Some stuff that's too X-rated for this part. But no, bro, thank you very much, man. It's always nice to have a guest on that, you know. Honestly, I can even see like why you're an entrepreneur, because you kind of know how to command the room, and that's the kind of energy I get from you, and it's a really, really, really good energy, man. So no, obviously, God willing, everything concerning your entrepreneurship, family life as well, everything goes well, and it keeps steady, man. So thank God for your life and your family's life, and man, now thank you very much for being on Don't Tell My Wife podcast, man.
Oh, man.
But yeah, man, just to close off, like, share, comment, subscribe, all of those things. And yeah, man, we'll catch you on another week next week on Don't Tell My Wife podcast.
We out.